They mentioned to me that potentially the commissions could be higher and higher than every other product on the market if things go the way they're supposed to. How do you like the idea of potentially not only a better process, a better value, but a better pay scale too?
Hey, sign me up.
I haven't even gotten to the best part yet. Maybe that was the best part. All right. So Adam's got me in that image that I cannot stand today, but he says it works perfect for splicing and dicing and editing and presenting more content to you. And we have an exciting preview or early preview at a product coming to the market soon. I'm not going to tell you who it's from. I'm not going to tell you when it's coming, but I'm going to tell you we know about it before pretty much anybody else. And I'm going to get Adam's take today on some of the highlights of this product, and he's going to react in real time. And you're going to have to stay tuned, stay subscribed, and stay engaged to find out what carrier I'm talking about and what product this is going to be as it comes to market. Adam, how's that sound for today's conversation?
Hey, sounds good to me. Always looking forward to hearing about new toys that are going to be available to play with.
Well, talk about a new toy off topic for a second, because I'm also equally excited that I'm going to try something next week that scares the shit out of me. You want to know what it is?
What's that?
It's changing something about something that I do. And it's not a drastic change. It's not a crazy change, but I'm going to stop printing my leads.
Hey, you know what? It's worked for me. I use an app called GoodNotes. I know you use Notability, but what I like about it is just the ability to be able to search for leads. And that's what I do. In GoodNotes, I'll be in an area, I can type in a zip code, and like anything I have in there pops up. And I mean, you can do the same if you have all your policy holders in there. It just makes it easier for me. That's what I've been doing for, well, I'd say at least the last year. I haven't printed out a lead in a long time. Just
so I have this iPad that I earned from a company called Mountain Life. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're in like 4 states. They've got a really small, nichey little company. Great guys, though. And we wrote enough business in 2021 for me to earn an iPad. And I've never done anything with it. And I thought to myself today after our morning recording, what if I did that with this? Maybe it would work. So I cleared it off. I set it up, put my logo on it, and I activated Notability, and I downloaded some leads. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what you do. And instead of spending 45 minutes printing and cutting and splicing and dicing, instead of doing that, I'm going to spend time with my family and life and upload my leads and see if I can still make it work.
Yeah. I mean, I go to the door, I show them the lead right on the iPad, and they never ask, well, where's the hard copy? Well, how come you don't have the card that came back? Why do you just have a scanned image of it? Like, I don't think one person has ever asked me that. So I like it. Like I said, I like it. Makes it easy to do, just to stay organized really with everything. I can take those leads. I can I can share them with people too if I need to. I can save a copy for myself. It makes it real easy to shoot them over to other people, and just I don't know. Overall, it just makes it a lot easier. Like you said, it saves you so much time all the time. And I just remember when I had the leads, either the cards, the original cards, or even just a printed out copy. I mean, they'd end up in stacks all over my car. I'd probably lose half of them. I mean, if I wanted to put a route together, like snap my fingers, I just need some leads in this area. I mean, it would take forever because I'd be shuffling through all my leads, trying to find leads that were in that area. And like I said, now I could type in a zip code, and it'll give me all 30 leads that I have that are in that area, or however many I have. So I really like it.
When I have the full appointment calendar, thanks to our appointment setting team, that morning, I take all the leads and I put them in order over the kitchen counter while my oldest is eating breakfast, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I put them in order so I know where to go. It really wouldn't be any more complicated to put them in order, maybe in a separate document, but have them here. And if I can't find a lead, then I have to go back to the computer, go into Opt, print it out, cut it out again. And I'm excited. I think so much of our business can become mundane, monotonous, boring, unexciting. Maybe a little thing like this might put a little extra excitement into next week.
Yeah, well, those apps too, they have the cloud storage too. So you never have, because I thought about that even the other day. Like, what if someone came up to me and stole my iPad or stole my phone? Well, all of the leads they are stored in the cloud. So, I mean, I could, if I ended up having to buy a new iPad at some point, I mean, all I would have to do is log in and it would all be there. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool too. You never have to worry about losing them.
No, I have my regular iPad over here, and the Notability in that iPad interacts directly with the Notability in this iPad. So they're both interchangeable with each other.
So why do you need two iPads?
Well, here's the thing. This iPad is huge, and I don't want to be busting it out at the door. And I want something small that I can just tuck away just for leads. So this is kind of like my compromise. Instead of printing them, this is going to be like the leads iPad that I just simply pull out and show. And then I write down what I need, and then I put it away like I would my leads anyway.
That's cool. Are you able to use like the Apple Pencil on it and that?
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I had, again, opened it out of a box, had never touched
Yeah.
it for a while. And I pulled out one of my Apple Pencils, and it is Apple Pencil compatible.
Well, good. Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of difficult without that. But yeah, I got all my local guys were kind of all set up the same way. We all have our iPads with the Apple Pencil. They all load their leads into Notability. And it just makes it a lot easier to stay organized for sure.
Yeah, I've got stacks of leads just in the front seat of the Jeep, an entire bin of leads in the back trunk. That's got to stop. Like, it's just excessive at this point. Heck, but that's what happens when you buy leads every week, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I have leads that are probably 14 years old in my basement. I was thinking about maybe having a contest and just pulling all those out and trying to see the addresses of those, verify the addresses, try to find those where people are still living at the same address and have a contest and just go out and door knock and see who could write the most business on a lead that's 14 years old.
That's crazy. I remember last spring, this is not the topic we had planned for today, but we'll get to it, I promise. Last spring, I had extra time. The weather was nice. I ventured up to the attic and I pulled out leads from like 2000 ish. No, not 2000, like 2015, 16, 17, 18, that range. And I threw them on a spreadsheet. I sent them to the setter we were using at the time, and they set appointments. I don't know if that was completely TCPA compliant, but whatever at that point. And I went out, I saw a few folks, wrote a little bit of business, and I texted a friend of ours, Ricky Raymond. I'm like, Ricky, the coolest thing in my life happened. He's like, what? I'm like, I'm not that cool. I wrote a piece of business off a lead from like the 20 teens. He's like, my God, you sold a lead from a different decade. It was awesome. You could sell one from a different century almost.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. We always say how people fill cards out all the time, and more than likely they've probably filled others out since then. I have plenty of leads that are 2019, 2018, but yeah, all the way back to probably like 2006. I have them. So yeah, I mean, I have a bin in my basement just full of them, and just if I went through my computer and my old computers, I mean, they're all over the place, saved and stored. So
That's
yeah, it's
exciting.
crazy to think, but yeah, I mean, people they fill stuff out all the time, so there's still a chance they need it.
Yeah, I had one other reservation about a lead type that I think is valuable in the right type of agent's hands. But when I printed it, it didn't come out right. And that was the reason I stopped buying it. Like, how weird is that? Like, I couldn't print it the way I wanted, so I stopped trying it. But with it on
Yeah,
the iPad, it's not going to be an issue. It's a check lead, and it's a lead that's got the $10 check, the lead form underneath it. They respond to the lead by cashing the check, and the lead is $25 a lead. And I just stopped trying it because it didn't work right with the printer, but maybe it'll work right with my iPad.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it would. Yeah, I'd be curious to see how those leads work, especially at the price that they are. I heard that they're more specific, where the verbiage isn't as generic. So people, it's not like people are just filling out and signing the check without understanding that it's about life insurance.
Yeah,
So,
it says
maybe they'd
final
be
expense right on
decent.
it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you're going to get people that fill the thing out just to get the free $10 or whatever, but I'm sure that there's some that are genuinely interested as well, just like any other lead.
Absolutely. So we've got until, oh, we don't have that much time left. Good Lord. We got a few minutes to discuss in rapid fire a product that's coming to market this summer from a well known carrier. And I'm not going to use the name, no one gets to know it until they hear it, but we know about this before anybody else. And I want to get your impression of some information that carrier shared with me today and see if you think this might be exciting.
Sounds good.
All right. So the first thing they shared with me is this new product on this new platform with this well known carrier will have no more referred to underwriting decisions.
Good. I mean,
Thank God,
simplicity
right?
is key. Yeah. I mean, that just makes our lives easier. If we can get that decision right away, well, then great.
They
If it
mentioned,
works with them, great. If not, we'll move on to someone else. But at least, yeah, at least we know we don't have to wait around for a decision.
yeah, they were saying to me, this carrier, that so much of their business is not placed because when it's referred to underwriting, the agent just simply writes another product in the home. And that application with that carrier is wasted business at that point.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I know the carrier we're talking about. I've had a few pieces of business where some correspondence was kind of ridiculous. And I was like, well, I just don't have time for this. And I moved on.
Next, they mentioned to me that the age band is going to be 18 to 85 and included the Everest Funeral Concierge Program built into it. What do you think?
Nice. Cool. Yeah. I mean, again, you always talk about the added value, and that's something for sure that adds a lot of value, gives people that mindset that this is more than just another life insurance, that this is the one that's going to take care of their funeral. So for those that are wanting to take out a policy for that purpose, it really separates that product from other available life insurance policies out there.
They mentioned to me that potentially the commissions could be higher and higher than every other product on the market if things go the way they're supposed to. How do you like the idea of potentially not only a better process, a better value, but a better pay scale too?
Hey, sign me up.
I haven't even gotten to the best part yet. Maybe that was the best part. Next, I was told, hopefully this to be the case. If not, I'll delete this video in 6 months and pretend it never happened. That they may continue to take things like neuropathy and COPD as first aid coverage, where in other situations, neuropathy and COPD are not first aid carrier options with most companies.
Hey, that's good too. I mean, we always talk about simplicity, and that's just kind of how I've always been. I mean, if there was a product out there that insured most people, where I didn't have to shuffle around all over the place to generate business, then they would be my main focus. It's all about simplicity, ease of use, and simplicity.
Well said. I think part of simplicity is me trying to simplify the time it takes me to do arts and crafts and put it on a computer. Next, they mentioned to me that the product will be ideally paid on issue. That means you don't have to wait 3 weeks for the premium to draft to get paid, that you'll get paid quicker as soon as that piece of business is issued.
Hey, that's nice. I mean, I know some people like that. Others don't really care too much about it. Me personally, yeah, to me, it doesn't really matter to me. Uh, it's nice to get paid up front, but I've also liked, one of the carriers that we're writing with, they pay once a week, and I don't mind that. They pay once a week, and they don't pay until the business is already drafted. So I'm okay with that. It kind of keeps me going, where I'm not focused on the sale I just made and I'm going to be getting paid on it. I mean, that's just, to me, it's like I'm writing that and it's just extra business. And then when I get paid on it, it's a nice big old surprise because it was something that I wrote 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. And a lot of times too, when they pay once a week like that, it piles up and I'll get one nice big deposit. So it works both ways. It's nice to get that instant money. I don't mind getting the other ones either, where, once a week I get a nice big deposit.
Yeah, I think your two key carriers need to have a blend of quick pay and paid next month kind of business to balance it out. What else did they go over with me that I would love your opinion on? The face amount up to 50,000 up to age 75. Sounds pretty useful to me. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been thinking about that a lot lately. How I've been writing much larger policies, I feel like, than I've ever written before. These funeral prices are going up. People are realizing it. They're experiencing it. Someone passed, and they're paying $15,000 to $20,000 to bury their relative. I mean, I have thousands of clients that I probably wrote $10,000 policies on that at the time would have been enough to bury them, and now it's not. So, I mean, I got a lot of people I can go back on and write more coverage. But yeah, I mean, I had someone call me earlier today looking for 50,000 for their dad. So people are
Mhm.
looking for more coverage. So, and right now there's not that many carriers that will go that high. I could only think of maybe three offhand that will go up to
Yes.
50,000 on a simplified issue. So, no, that's good that they're gonna do that.
It'll take direct express and bank draft, so that'll be an option all in the same product. I assume that would be something you're agreeable to.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, ease of use, simplicity. If they have everything you need, why write it somewhere else?
Absolutely. So there's kind of the bullet points that I was shared with age 18 to 80 includes Everest, includes a instant decision platform that nobody else is using yet, which will be exciting to see how successful it is. Still takes many niche conditions, competitive rates, higher commissions, paid on draft. I think it's fun in our market as we segue from that point to also see carriers innovating and trying to stay ahead of the game because it just kind of keep things fun and fresh. And I like to see a little competition between them. What do you think?
Yeah, you have to. You got to stay up to speed on things. There's companies out there that are still requiring phone verifications, and to me, I think that really hurts them because when there's other options that are available that are easier to use. That's the way that the agent's going to want to go. Who wants to have to spend 5 to 10 minutes to put a client on the phone with the company if they don't have to? Uh, I mean, you just never know how those phone calls could go. Uh, but it's just, yeah, and so, yeah, I mean, I think that it's important to stay up to speed on things. And one thing I'd be curious about would be as far as like what they do take as far as underwriting goes, how close to like a guaranteed issue it could be like on their modified. Uh, I think that's important too. I mean, the more conditions one carrier is willing to take, like I said, I mean, I would place all my business with them if they had like a one size fits all product that went even 0 to 85 that pretty much insured everybody, and the rates were competitive, and they had lead financing and everything else. I'd be all for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how
But
this
I mean,
goes.
heck, 18 isn't bad, 18 to 80, you said, or 85.
Yes. 18 to 85 is what I was told.
And they still have products for younger people too.
Yes. Yeah, they also have a regular whole life that is already really aggressively built out in the pay scale and a very strong product too. So, uh, before we go, because we both have places to go in the next 10 or 15 minutes, any thoughts that you'd like to share on the podcast?
Any thoughts I'd like to share about what?
Your week last week, your week this week, kind of that balancing act between consistency that you're able to demonstrate and the inconsistency that sort of kills other agents on their good weeks and bad weeks in the business.
Yeah, like I talked about, we had our morning call this morning, and I talked about just how, usually everything balances out. You could have a really, really good week, and then you could end up having a lousy week. And that's kind of how my last couple weeks went. Last week I wrote over or close to 10,000 in premium in 3 days. And then this week in 3 days, I struck out. I mean, I sat with two people in 3 days, like wasn't catching anybody at home. Uh, just didn't really have a whole lot of luck. I mean, the weather was lousy. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. People just weren't in a good mood. They just didn't feel like talking to me or what. I have no idea. But it was just one of those weeks. What are you going to do? I mean, like I said, all I can do is focus on next week and make sure that I have enough people to see, so that doesn't happen again. Because you don't want it to turn. You don't want one bad week to turn into 2 to 4 to then you're looking for something else to do. Um, I mean, I really could never think about something else to do because this is pretty much all I know how to do. But I'll figure it out. Like I said, I'm planning on having a good week next week, but it's good to plan ahead and just make sure that you have all your ducks in a row to have a productive week.
I agree. I think it's important to stay consistent in your routine, in your lead buying, in your presentation, in your community around you. I think most agents really need every app to pay every bill, and maybe that's their reality. But because they need every app to pay every bill for the most part, maybe years down the road, they stabilize a little bit. They have a bad week and then they take a week off and then they have another bad week. And before you know it, they're completely out of the game. But if they had just stayed the course, they would find their way through any storm.
Oh man, I tell you, boy, when you're on a roll, it's like you can't slow down. When you're on a roll and you're crushing it, I feel like the same thing happened to me uh, around Thanksgiving. It's always around these holidays. Like around Thanksgiving, it was the same thing. I was on a roll, I was crushing it, and then, well, I don't think I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Mhm.
all the way up until that following week, and I went from being in a groove to kind of slowing down a little bit. And the same thing I feel like happened with Easter. I mean, I had a good, and I didn't really take any extra time off. Uh, I mean, usually I'm in the office on Fridays. Last Friday, I went out with the family for a little bit, but I wouldn't have been out in the field anyways. And then I was right back in the field this Tuesday. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but it just went from being in a good groove to a little bit of a slump. But I'm not too concerned. I know I'll be snapping out of it real soon.
Before we go, did you want to highlight the whatever it takes challenge? Because we awarded our first winner this week. Agent of ours, Shannon Sistrunk out of Mississippi, is going to be set up on a free week of appointment setting once I set it up today. But do you want to go over the whatever it takes challenge for those that may not have heard about it yet?
Yeah, this is something that we've started, but I would say it's still kind of in the works. Haven't really promoted it a whole lot yet, but the plan is to really start to promote it out there to agents in the industry. This is something that's not just for agents that are connected with us. This is for any agents out there that are out there writing business that I would say probably more geared towards field sales, where they have a steady flow of leads that they're working on a regular basis. Maybe they're calling themselves and they're setting up appointments. Maybe they're just door knocking their leads. But anyways, it's for those sort of agents where maybe they did something that really made a difference when it came to making a sale. Where had they not done that one thing or a few things, it would have never happened. Uh, I just always bring up the one example. We had another guy today where the client couldn't remember their bank account information. So they hopped in the car and they drove over to the bank to get it. That's just one example. Uh, you could be in a senior complex, and while you're going up to see the person that you're going to see, you talk to the person that's standing next to you in the elevator. Little things like that, just not being afraid to tell people about what you do and being able to make sales that way. Just any little thing where you're like, man, I'm really glad I thought to do that. I wouldn't have made a sale had I not done that. That's, to me, like the definition of doing whatever it took to make the sale. Well, you can share that story with us. There's a form that can be filled out, and I'm going to be putting together, hopefully maybe this weekend I can do that. I'm going to put together a landing page where you'll be able to go to the landing page, and there'll be a form that you can fill out with your name and email and your story of what you did to make that sale that kind of was a little bit over and above the usual. And then if we pick you, I think my goal would be to figure out a way to set it up where other agents can also even vote. But we pick the people that win for the week, and you're going to win a whole week's worth of preset appointments. You'd shoot your leads over to us. We'll have our appointment setters add you to the schedule, and they'll fill up your schedule for the week. I mean, that could be 3 appointments. That could be 15 appointments. We just don't know. It really just depends on how much success they have on the leads. But I would hope for at least a good handful of appointments for you. And And those appointments, I'm telling you, boy, it makes a big difference. This week, I did not have any appointments set. And I think that's partially part of the reason why I didn't write any business. Uh, I did a bunch of door knocks, wasn't catching people at home. Had I had some of those appointments set, I probably would have sat down with more people and generated some business. Uh, so whether you just door knock or if you're already setting up appointments, I think you'll like the fact that we can add a little bit of structure to your week. And not only that, we'll have you on one of our podcast episodes. You can tell your story to the world of what you did to earn the or to win the whatever it takes challenge.
Well said. I think it's exciting to see this take off, this grow, this get people's attention. This appointment setting program we're talking about. This week I had 18 appointments, 8,000 in premium written off of it, about 5 Medicare plans. The week before, 20 appointments. Like at that point, pure exhaustion kicks in, another 8 or 9,000 of premium. The week before that, an entire day of appointments, a 10K day, rare occurrence there. But these girls work their freaking face off to put people on the calendar for us to see. And we're going to give it away for free if you submit your whatever it takes moment of the week. Adam, appreciate you joining me. It's time for you to go get your kids, me to go get mine, and you to like, comment, and subscribe to today's video.